Tonight we're counting down the TV characters who made our blood boil.
I don't like you, I never have.
From the cruel and callous...
You wouldn't want to deal with someone like that.
Did you miss me?
With every bullet so far.
to the selfish and sinful.
You opportunistic little bitch.
Ugh.
I don't think I'd like to meet her in real life.
We've got cantankerous comic creations.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
Fight me, jackass.
And drama's dastardly do-badders.
We hate her. We hate her.
Female canine stirring.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good evening and welcome to 20 to 1, TV characters we love to hate. Tonight we're celebrating the fictional characters who add the spice to our favourite TV shows. We might hate them, but TV wouldn't be the same without them. But who is our most hated TV character? Well, to find out, let's start the countdown to number 1 with a fictional person who's just a little too much like a real one. At number 20, it's the officer's David Brent, the boss none of us want, but love to watch.
It's just another normal day at the office, isn't it? Just a normal day, isn't it? So, what? What are you laughing at?
He is the biggest tool on the telly. Hands down.
You wouldn't want to deal with someone like that. He's a pain in the ass, but he's just fantastic to watch.
I just love the fact that it was this documentary style following him around and these little asides that he used to give, you know, to the camera.
Oh, I don't believe it. Look at this.
Hello. All right.
Yeah.
Is Monkey in there?
Oh, yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I was expecting a blind date and I was worried you were it.
You can't see a whole episode without just cringing.
But there's something tragic about him as well, and that's why you love him.
Monkey!
He's oblivious to what a complete moron he is and to what a complete moron everyone around him thinks he is.
This guy does the best Ali G impersonation. I can't do it. Go on.
I don't. I think it's
Oh,
someone else.
Sorry, no, it's not you, it's the other one.
The other what?
Packy. That's racist.
Ugh. Just want to walk away.
I remember he had that date that was set up, and at the end of it, she said, "Would you like to do this again?"
With you?
Yes.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Oh, that's so bad.
Really, really clever show and really clever character.
If that's it, can you leave now, please? It's Newman!
Sleazing into 19th spot, it's Seinfeld's nefarious neighbour, Newman.
Hello, Jerry. May I come in?
What do you want? Characters you love to hate, I reckon Newman have to be up there.
He's the best. Just fidgety little hands, just beady little eyes. He's just a really annoying character.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
Hello.
Shouldn't you be at work by now?
Work? It's raining.
You don't work in the rain. You're a mailman.
The lazy postal worker who took delivering the mail somewhat seriously.
It's called mail fraud. Ooh, how I've longed for this moment, Seinfeld. The day when I would have the proof I needed to expose you to the light of justice as the monster that you are. A monster so vile.
Oh, love-hate relationship, isn't it?
I'm not sure that he had a love-hate relationship with Jerry. I think it was just a hate-hate relationship.
They knew how to push each other's buttons, that's for sure.
Sometimes I ponder this silly gulf between us, and I say, why? Are we really so different? For what is...
I'm not the one doing the cooking, Newman.
Damn you, Seinfeld!
He took cameo roles to a whole new level.
He had his special place in Seinfeld.
Pigpen. Brothel. Here's your... Yo!
Making war hell. It's the major problem with the Korean War. The obstinate and officious Frank Burns.
Disgusting.
He was just so annoying that you just couldn't get enough of it.
You really did want to just slap him. Mate, you're in the Korean War, you're not at home anymore, you don't have to be that punsy twit.
What's that? It's French.
So pompous, so into the military way of doing things.
Captain Pierce constantly calls me by my first name.
Not allowed, Henry. Page 85, the Army Officer's Guide.
It was all about power. And I mean, you just look at the guy and you go, you're never going to end up in power. There's no way.
Who put water in my gun?
I think he was just one of those people that you could pick on really easily.
I love the way that Hawkeye used to just completely hang shit on him all the time.
Why is someone's appendix in this boot?
Because the other one is full of tonsils.
You know, in a way, he's so filled with this ego, but then, you know, there's this amazing vulnerability to him as well.
That's my strong fella.
Frank Burns was such a crybaby, and really, I think one of the reasons that viewers hated him so much was because he was really boxing above his weight to be scoring Hot Lips Houlihan.
I wish you could meet my wife. You'd like her.
Frank Burns is a spineless, snivelling weasel with no brain. He should be Prime Minister.
You sneaks!
Knock, knock, Mr. Sheffield.
Making us all wince at number 17 is Fran Fine, the nasally nanny with the will to shrill.
Mr. Sheffield, Miss Babcock's here.
Fingernails down a chalkboard, that voice, isn't it? Fran Drescher.
Mr. Sheffield. Oh, Mr. Sheffield. Mr. Sheffield. Was that annoying? That sounded annoying to me. Ah, we're just pulling your leg.
It's the laugh.
I think to live with her 24 hours a day would have been hell on earth.
Despite the nasal annoyance, the nanny from Queens brought humour and home truths to a prim and proper household.
Did you really think that you were gonna hide a hickey from me with a little pressed powder? You need oil-based concealer.
And vain. I mean, for the whole duration of the show, she was supposedly 29 years old.
The years are passing me by. 27, 28, 29, 29,
29.
Don't start with me, Niles.
It was funny how a nanny could wear all that and do all that and have time to maintain herself, but then look after the kids.
No. It makes you look cheap and tawdry. Go put it back in my closet.
I don't care how successful it was or how many countries around the world it was syndicated in. She was annoying.
What? I shouldn't laugh?
The nanny's annoying, but the real nasties are still to come.
The hell are you looking at?
He's horrible. He's horrible.
Yes, that's truer than you think.
How do you get along being like that?
She was a bitch.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 TV characters we love to hate. Well, we're well into the countdown now with a nasty character that is out of this world. In fact, he's so far out of this world, he doesn't know where he is. Never quite computing the gravity of his situation, at number 16 is the conniving and cowardly Dr. Zachary Smith from Lost in Space.
That's it exactly. I'm a scoundrel, a thoroughly bad sort, hopelessly unreliable.
Dr. Smith from Lost in Space is one of the most annoying characters on television of all time.
I mean, the whole reason the poor Robinson family were lost in space was because of Dr. Smith and his meddling.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, well, I do. I don't know how the others feel, Smith, but I'm fed up to the teeth with you. Every time something goes wrong around here, you're always at the bottom of it.
Are those also your feelings, Professor Robinson? I see.
Stowed away on the spaceship, and then the rest of the series was all about him hatching how to get back to Earth.
I have no business being here. I demand to be taken back to Earth.
He has to be, in my mind, truly one of the most dynamic TV characters ever.
Stranded on an alien planet. No one with whom to exchange intellectual ideas. No one to talk to except this animated weather station.
I did love all that repartee between he and the robot.
A moment of truth has arrived.
Be still, you bubble-headed booby.
I mean, he and the bubble-headed booby next to him, they would get into all sorts of mischief.
You bumbling incompetent. If I had any other company here, I'd have you broken down for spare parts.
How do you get along being like that?
Oh, shut up.
I mean, it was very camp, and it was very over the top and silly, but, you know, it was fun.
I must say that, everything considered, this has been a most satisfying day.
The hell are you looking at?
Beating out one dastardly doctor is yet another. ER's rotten Robert Romano.
Stay out of my face!
Robert Romano, the head of surgery, just hates everybody.
Romano was a complete and utter arsehole. The man was vile.
What's this doing here?
We always have cake when it's someone's birthday.
Woman pops a kid out. What the hell difference does it make what day it is? No more official or unofficial recognition of birthdays.
He was known as Rocket Romano on the show because he was so fierce.
I just didn't like the look of him. I didn't like his eyes from the minute he walked into the ER.
Get rid of this coffee machine in here. You losers can pay for your own job.
He's horrible. He's horrible.
He wouldn't give people time off. He just kept making them work extra long hours. He would give them patients that they didn't want to see.
I want all your performance evals by day's end.
Why?
Well, I want something to read when I'm on the can. Why do you think, Igor? You're on my hit list.
But during the show's 9th season, the sadistic surgeon was finally cut down to size when, during a freak helicopter accident, the two-faced doctor became a one-armed bandit.
And then we kind of felt sorry for him for a minute, and then he became an asshole again.
Hey, you got a hook.
Suits you.
Shut up. And then, I don't know what he's done to helicopter pilots, but then a helicopter crashes on top of him in the car park out the front of the ER. I mean, dude, stay away from aircraft.
Now that's bad luck.
Oh, shut up.
Hello, this is Sister Scott.
Keeping everyone in line at number 14 is the young doctor's super-starched and stern matron, Sister Grace Scott.
This is a hospital, nurses, not Luna Park.
You would not want to mess with her, nurse or no nurse. I'd rather nurse myself than have her nurse me.
She meant business. She was strict, she was starched, she had that old school hat on.
I don't remember much of the plot, but I always remember her looking like a cow.
Good morning, Nurse Adams.
Don't you ever sleep, sister?
I wouldn't, if all my nurses lived it up the way you do.
Have you any complaints about my work?
No, nurse, only your morals.
She was the stern matron, the by-the-book matron.
Sister Scott really was able to define what being a bitch meant.
Nurse Livingston.
Yes.
You do know you're not allowed to make private calls while you're on duty?
Sister Scott, mind your own business.
Nurse Brown. Are you ill?
No, sister.
Get down from that trolley and get back to your work at once.
I'm sorry, sister. You see what happened?
I am not interested in your explanation. Now you get back to your work.
She was grumpy. She was vile.
What are you two looking at?
And yet she was probably a terrific nurse in her day, but boy, she was ugly.
If Sister Scott saw me, she'd have something to say. You know, they don't call her the Dragon Lady for nothing.
Indeed they do not. I'm just on my way to personnel. Maybe I should have a word with them about you.
The night she fell down the elevator shaft is the night that everybody remembers in that show because she sort of deserved it.
Yes, hallelujah.
You go back and watch the Young Doctors now and you know why the health system's screwed up today. Young Doctors was the beginning of the slippery slope.
Yes, that's truer than you think.
Livia Soprano?
At number 13 is the grandmother more likely to order a hit than relax and knit. Meddlesome mafia matriarch, Livia Soprano.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was very scary.
She was a nasty piece of work. Ruled that family in a passive-aggressive kind of way.
Oh, look who's decided to join us. And with that breath.
You know, I really don't need that right now, Ma.
Oh, aren't we being sensitive?
She is so loving and so maternal with catchphrases like,
Babies are like animals. They're no different than dogs.
She's always trying to undermine someone. Not a pretty trait at all.
Come on, Janice, let's go. Richie didn't come home last night. She's worried about him.
Oh, sure. Probably jilted her. That's the story of her life.
There are some mothers out there that deliver some tough love. I'll tell you what, she was one of them.
Take the carving knife and stab me. Here. Here. Now, please.
Oh, Ma, you gotta stop. You gotta stop with this black poison cloud all the time, because I can't take it anymore.
Oh, poor you.
Tony Soprano, here's a guy tough enough to run the mafia, but his mother had him trotting off to the psychologist every week.
My son, the mental patient.
Livia adored her son, Tony. She loved him so much, she hired her brother-in-law to try and kill him. That's love.
I tried to do the right thing by you. You trying to have me whacked?
She doesn't understand you.
She's mad. Look at the look on her face.
I mean, she was a nasty piece of work.
I suppose I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Which cruel characters were a real hit? Find out after the break.
I'm gonna burn your face so it matches the color of your hair.
She was like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Unbelievable.
She was just an oversized troll doll.
Welcome back to 20 to 1, TV characters we love to hate. If you had mixed feelings and missed the start of the countdown, then here's a quick peek at what you missed. At number 20, David Brent is no one's superior. At 19, that painful postman, Newman. At 18, Frank Burns gets us hot under the collar. At 17, the nanny's like a fine wine. Number 16 is the pain of Dr. Zachary Smith. At 15, the cutting surgeon, Dr. Romano. At 14, the caring but callous Nurse Scott. At number 13, the low note of the Soprano family. And beating all of them into 12th place is a beautiful woman who was mad, bad, and dangerous to know. Fighting her way into tonight's top dozen and making Melrose Place an interesting place to live, it's that troubled tenant, Dr. Kimberly Shaw.
You opportunistic little bitch. If anything's old news around here, it's you. And if you think that shotgun marriage you arranged is going to protect you, then you are dumber than you look.
She was so mean. She was like the Wicked Witch of the West.
She would have had to have been the most hated person on TV. You bet your ass.
Since moving in, this sultry seductress has stolen husbands, kidnapped babies, tried to kill her boyfriend, and not been very neighbourly.
What are you going to do with that? I'm going to burn your face so it matches the color of your hair.
The character of Dr. Kimberly Shaw was responsible for some of the most iconic moments in Melrose Place.
An eye for an eye, Michael. An eye for an eye.
She started getting really quite demented.
She's actually psychotic.
Kimberly, what the hell are you doing?
Love hurts, Michael.
The crazy one. We love that. She was just thrown in there just to stir everyone up totally.
Go home, you condescending bitch, and we'll let you know what we think.
Don't you ever talk to me that way.
And one of the pinnacle moments in her life was when she pulled back that wig.
And she had that big, creepy scar.
And she did look a bit like an alien.
And let's not forget that she planted a bomb in the building and set it off.
No!
The red-headed bitch that blows up the apartment block.
Never trust a redhead.
Well, we all have our bad days.
24,000, 25,000, 26,000.
Just outside tonight's top 10, it's Dukes of Hazzard's boss hog, the corrupt county commissioner whose appetites are bigger than he is.
You call me boss, chief, or even master, but not hog. You get it?
Boss Hog, what a classic.
Boss Hoggs was this disgusting, little, insignificant, podgy little man that got about in a white suit. He was the commissioner. He was completely and utterly corrupt.
You talking about misappropriating government funds? That's a very serious charge. Well, if the sticky finger fits, wear it.
Sure, he was corrupt, in his big white car with the horns on front.
Enjoying the ride, my little pork chop?
Strangely, though, the county seemed to run all right.
As head of Hazard County, there were two things he couldn't control: Beau and Luke Duke, who always managed to foil his crooked scams.
Your classic case of the two upstarts in the town and the boss.
Yeah, he was always upset with those Duke boys and what they got up to.
You dukes! You always interfering, ain't you? Trespassing, sticking your nose in other people's business.
He's consumed with this relentless pursuit of them.
In the name of the law!
He just couldn't get those dastardly Dukes. He could never catch them.
What are you doing with this?
Well, any excuse for a good car chase.
How could one council go through so many different cars? It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry about your cigar there. I think it's scuffed a little bit.
I'll scuff you!
You've got to feel sorry for him because he never gets what he wants.
Like, how could you not catch the Dukes? You knew where they lived, dude. Come on.
If this were my store, I would
Kill everyone!
Pulling no punches at number 10 is the cosmetic creation with a caustic tongue, Drew Carey's arch nemesis, Mimi Bobek.
Boy, Drew, you're all covered up. Is it cold out, or did the city pass an ugly ordinance?
She was a bitch.
She was just an oversized troll doll.
Don't touch the troll!
Is that what your mom used to say to your dates?
That is a woman who's not afraid to put on some makeup.
Good. Wow. Those black and white security cameras don't do you justice.
She is where all the leftover makeup in the world goes.
For your information, I've been putting on makeup every morning since I was 12.
Yeah, maybe one night you'll actually take some off.
After he initially denied her a job, Mimi vowed to make Drew's life a living hell.
Mimi, there's not a thing you've done that I don't know about.
Well, first off, I've been spitting in the coffee pot.
It's disgusting. Other people drink from that coffee pot.
Friendly fire.
Just a great comic character. Again, one of those characters that you can't quite look away from.
Don't be surprised if you find a dead hooker in your bed.
You're not sleeping over, Mimi.
Some of the banter between Drew and Mimi, just unbelievable.
Oh, look, one of the mannequins escaped from the big and useless department. What are you doing here?
I don't know. Why do people slow down to look at a car wreck?
I don't think I'd like to meet her in real life. She scares me a little bit.
Bite me, jackass.
The characters get even uglier when we come back.
I used to hate her. I hate her so much.
She's just vacuous and evil.
I still love her.
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we count down to TV's most despised character. Well, we're into the single digits now, and we come to a Hollywood agent who has attitude and ambition to burn. You know, I should give him a call.
I didn't think. Let me tell you something. You don't have to say anything. You know why? Because you pick up all your stuff because you're fired.
Shouting his way into number 9 is the rude and ruthless agent of the stars, Ari Gold, from the cult hit Entourage.
So what does the middle A stand for, Ari? Arrogant? Abrasive? Argumentative?
Annoying? Asshole?
He was a character I loved to hate.
You're fired. God damn, that felt good.
I didn't like him at all.
He's arrogant, he's got charisma.
And then he's loud and he yells at everybody the entire time and he's rude.
Get out. Seriously, don't even grab a bagel. Next.
Taking a tough love approach to his work, Ari is worth his weight in gold as a results-driven Hollywood agent.
Ari Gold is back and gonna be bigger than ever.
You're gonna talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk, baby. And Ari does that for me.
What you need in an agent is someone that has your best interests at heart.
Anyone make any progress getting Johnny Chase a job?
I've got some calls in.
Any agents in the building have any calls in?
Money, notoriety, fame. He's the kind of guy that would sell his grandma to get his client a role.
But despite his lack of anger management skills, Ari finds loyalty from his spirited assistant.
Lloyd! Lloyd! Lloyd!
I got Dana Gordon's assistant on the phone.
What are you wearing?
I'm trying out new looks. This one's my Andre 3000. You like?
No, I don't. You look like Michelle Kwan in drag.
It's the trifecta. Homophobic, misogynist, and racist. It's all you need.
Ari, that's a rental. That's a rental.
No.
There's gonna be some changes around here. And you better be ready for them.
Clawing her way to number 8 is that manipulative vixen, the bold and very beautiful Brooke Logan.
We hate her. We hate her.
Who hates Brooke? I know she slept with every Forrester man that's ever lived. She's a beautiful woman and she knows how to use it.
Just wait until you get an eyeful of this, Rich Forrester.
I have done my research on that nasty, no-good bitch Brooke Logan from Bold and the Beautiful. Now, apparently she's had an affair with Rich Forrester, Connor Davis, James Warwick, Victor Newman, who apparently was from another soap, I don't know how that happened, Thorne Forrester, Deacon Sharp and Nick Maroney.
And let's not forget the family patriarch, Eric Forrester.
And that was just in episode 1.
She gets what she wants, she uses them, eats them up, spits them out. That's why we hate her.
I'll miss you at the wedding, Mom. Oops. Better luck next time.
You have to have someone like that, nasty, a female canine, stirring and doing evil things, because she becomes more fascinating, actually, than the good people.
Say what you're gonna say? Or get down on your knees if you think that'll help. That's where you're going to be spending most of your time from now on.
Brooke, you're being childish.
Go to hell, Eric.
Brooke Logan, you are nothing more than a husband-stealing hussy bitch!
Am I supposed to take that as a compliment?
She's just vacuous and evil.
Now that, I'm gonna take as a compliment.
Guarding her number 7 position with a clenched iron fist is prisoner warden Joan Ferguson, a.k.a. The Freak.
Oh my God, The Freak.
The Freak was, the scariest ever.
I used to watch that show and I used to love to hate her. I used to hate her. I hated her so much.
10 years in the service and today makes it all worthwhile. So don't you spoil it for me.
This is a show set at a prison, and one of the scariest of all is the one who's meant to be in charge.
Well, if your character's called a freak, it's not going to be a good thing.
You can trust me with one thing. I'll make your life hell if you don't give them to me. Now, where are they?
She's like a really nasty guard. Oh, and she used to put on the gloves.
The screw with the black leather gloves coming into your cell late at night. Whoa, that was powerful stuff.
Done anything?
Shut up.
She's such a professional actress and she loved the role. You could see her relishing it because she was so vile and so sadistic and so cruel.
I'm so lucky I left prison before The Freak came, or I would have been killed.
Her corruption and cruelty spiralled out of control. Then, when a robbery went wrong, Officer Ferguson was arrested.
Take me in there.
The Freak returned to Wentworth Detention Centre, this time as a prisoner.
I think The Freak was a lesson in karma, and she got what she dished out, and it wasn't good.
Which TV characters really freaked us out? Find out after the break.
I don't want to be your friend. I don't even like you.
What a super bitch. He's sort of repulsive on many different levels.
Then again, is he just misunderstood?
Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we count down to the TV character we most love to hate. And just missing out on tonight's top 5 is an Aussie soapy queen who knew how to make enemies. How bad was she? Well, she was known as the Rat. Enough said?
I don't like you. I never have.
Making her mark at number 6 is Sons and Daughters' household vermin, the cunning and cold-hearted Pat the Rat.
That's more like it, isn't it? That's the real Patricia.
Oh, well, Pat the Rat, you know, she's a necessary function to the show because you have to have somebody to hate.
Rowena Wallace played that role brilliantly. Such a nasty piece of work.
I'm not your friend. I don't want to be your friend. I don't even like you.
Wasn't she a cow? You know, so conniving and mean.
Has he told you who Andrew's mother is yet?
Patricia.
Oh. Explain your way out of that one, darling.
Rowena Wallace must have been the biggest star on Australian telly at the time because everyone knew Pat the Rat.
I was pregnant when I met you. They're not your children.
People hated her. Yes, you kept wondering what vile thing she was going to get up to next.
I'm not about to break up your marriage. The last thing I want to do is cause trouble.
Pat the Rat, you are such a bitch. Yes, I know.
You really are the most extraordinary woman. You seem to credit everyone with being as devious as you. Oh, not nearly that generous. Now that I've noticed.
I mean, her name said it all. She was Pat the Rat. Like, who loves rats?
I couldn't agree more.
Doing men no favours at number 5 is the father figure that never read the instructions, Al Bundy.
Greeting, vultures. Your meal tickets here.
Oh my God, Al Bundy, for Married with Children, had to represent the biggest bigot of all time.
Al Bundy was like the typical American misogynist.
Somebody told women they should start enjoying sex too. That was the beginning of the end.
I loved Al Bundy. I thought Married with Children was like the antidote we needed to all the schmaltzy sitcoms that were going around.
He had the hot daughter, he had the wife who didn't care, and he had the dopey son. He was the ultimate loser. It made everyone feel better about themselves.
Did a girl ever do something to you, something so rotten that it actually ruined your whole life?
Yes, and you call that girl Mom now.
And, as they say, behind every great man is an even greater woman, the irrepressible and bulletproof Peg Bundy.
Did you miss me?
With every bullet so far.
Oh, I had a terrible relationship. You would not wish that relationship on your worst enemy. Brace yourself.
But wait a second, Peg. Remember, the kids are here. Now, if you want to have sex, they'll have to leave. And if you want it to be good, you'll have to leave.
He really did not do men of the world a great service.
Tell me what a woman's body has to do with selling beer.
Pretty women make us buy beer. Ugly women make us drink beer.
The shoe salesman with his wallet out and the family just picking through it like vultures at a carcass.
Another hallmark moment.
He just wanted a bit of peace and quiet. God love him.
I want you to dig up every bit of filth you can find on him. And I happen to know there's a lot.
Putting the nasty into dynasty, it's Alexis Carrington, personifying the greed is good philosophy of the 1980s.
Call me Alexis.
I mean, she's up there. Alexis really knew how to be a bitch.
Just what do you think you're doing here?
Exactly what it looks like. I'm moving in.
Joan Collins' arrival in Dynasty is like a jolt of electricity to the show.
And what an amazing celebration of evil it is.
I'm glad to see that your father had your teeth fixed. If not your tongue.
Well, didn't she stir the pot? What a super bitch.
I did not cost Crystal Carrington her child.
Now, are you sure you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me?
Embittered ex-wife Alexis savoured a special kind of venom for Blake's second wife and her arch-nemesis, Crystal Carrington.
Crystal and Alexis, yes, they hated each other. And there was one episode where they had a wonderful fight. They were almost scratching each other's eyes out.
Didn't you have a fight in a fountain?
I know what's wrong with you. The empty-armed Madonna. You miserable bitch.
Yes, indeed. It was the fight to the death.
I'm here to give you a warning. A very strong warning. If you dare try to poison his mind against me, you're going to regret it.
Oh, she was a bitch, wasn't she? But she did look good, and that's the most important thing.
You want to bet?
When we come back, TV's 3 most despised characters. Welcome back to 20 to 1 as we reach the top 3 TV characters we most love to hate. And taking a well-deserved 3rd place on the winner's podium is the man about town that all women think they can tame. Bankrolling his way into number 3, it's Sex and the City's Mr. Big, Carrie Bradshaw's on-again, off-again love interest, who couldn't quite commit.
You are very arrogant.
I thought that's what you liked about me.
He was a bastard.
I don't know what his problem was. He did play her a merry dance, didn't he?
I have my place. You have yours. We're together when we want to be.
Like Woody and Mia.
Before soon you.
I know that Big isn't nice to Carrie all the time, but Big is so hot that you just like him anyway.
Why all of a sudden interest in meeting my mother?
Well, has a woman ever even heard of me?
My mother doesn't need to meet another girlfriend.
Oh.
Mr. Big just wasn't in love with Carrie, I don't think.
And that show really needed him. It really needed that petrol bomb that would explode, you know, every 6 weeks or so in their relationship.
Well, why would I move to Paris if it wasn't for you?
No, I'm just saying, I don't want you to uproot your life and expect anything.
I am such an idiot!
What the
He's so bad for her, it's good.
As an outsider, it's very easy to watch that relationship and say, don't do it, don't get back together with Mr. Big.
It's Big.
Oh my God, you're sleeping with Big?
Carrie, he was such an asshole to you. Not really. Even I am not that naive.
It's only chicks who hate Big because he won't marry her. Get over it. He always said he didn't want to marry her right from the start.
I just don't want to do something here that I'll be sorry for later.
But, you know, finally he committed. After he was like a runaway groom.
I knew you would do this! I knew it!
Carrie, I'm sorry.
Carrie, it's not gonna last. His ego is bigger than your stiletto shoes.
Absolutely.
Aren't you that guy everybody hates?
Oh, my, no. I'm Monty Burns.
At number 2, The Simpsons' very own Resident Evil, the cold-blooded and calculating C. Montgomery Burns.
Family, religion, friendship. These are the 3 demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business.
Monty Burns, yeah, he's a great villain.
I loved and hated him for a long time, but he's such an essential character in that show.
I will wreak a terrible vengeance on this city. No one will be spared. No one!
As owner of Springfield's nuclear power plant, Burns is a poster boy for corporate greed.
We found a missing Brazilian soccer team working in your reactor core.
That plane crashed on my property.
I like C. Montgomery Burns.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I mean, we love it when rich people are nasty too, because it gives us a justification for not liking them.
Money fight.
And I love that his assistant is secretly in love with him and thinks he's always in with a chance.
The preparations for your birthday have begun.
I won't get what I really want.
No one does.
Happy birthday, Mr. Smithers.
He's sort of repulsive on many different levels.
He was the man who blocked out the entire sunlight from Springfield so more money would be spent on electricity.
Eternal darkness. Well, that's just great.
Listen, someone's got to get that Mr. Burns.
He could be evil. But then again, is he just misunderstood?
Why, that's a fabulous idea.
Money, arrogance, and a nasty attitude. That's a scary combination. But tonight's most despised TV character is all of that, and a womanizer. Whack a 10-gallon hat on his head, and you've got a real nasty piece of work. Topping the list tonight is Dallas's devious son, oil tycoon, J.R. Ewing.
Are you trying to flatter me or insult me? I can't make out which.
JR really was your textbook baddie in a TV show.
He really was definitely one of those characters you love to hate.
Nasty, nasty, nasty piece of work.
Close down that field. That's right. Shut down every single whale.
You just wanted to strangle him, but if you strangled him, he wouldn't be in the show, and the show was so good because of him.
JR, I opened those wells myself.
And I shut him.
You shut him. Who gave you permission to do that?
Nobody. I did it all by myself.
He was just such a strong character, such a dynamic, You know, you knew where he stood on anything.
Swellen, you're a drunk. And a tramp. With your history, there isn't a court in the state of Texas that would let you have him.
You couldn't take my son.
My son.
The things he did to his wife, Sue Ellen, were appalling.
And the more evil he got, and the more cunning he got, you just thought, this cannot go on another week. And it would.
Which slut are you going to stay with tonight?
Whoever it is, it's got to be more interesting than the slut I'm looking at right now.
JR was a dastardly human being. He had the family life, all of these mistresses on the side, all the money, scheming and never getting caught for it, big man in town.
The last time a guy from Texas caused that much trouble, he was president.
Eventually, JR was dished up his just desserts in a season cliffhanger that made television history.
And it just goes to show you the power of a really bad dude and how many people will watch to see someone like that get shot.
Frankly, it couldn't have happened to a nicer vulture.
Who didn't want to shoot JR? In fact, I'm sure there were thousands of TVs around the world with bullet holes in them. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's celebration of television's tyrants. Join us again next time for another 20 to 1. Until then, good night. On our next 20 to 1, it's sex and drugs and rock and roll.
They had us all fooled.
Was anyone listening? Wow.
From pop stars with power.
He just blew everybody away.
He broke the mold.
It was the wonder of the age.
To rock stars on the edge.
He knows how to push people's buttons. My eyes were popping out of my head.
It was totally blown out of proportion.
We've got songs that rock the world.
Crank up the amps.
Never heard anything quite like it.
Whoa. And songs that shock the world.
It is a masterpiece.
It was genius, you know.
It's like rock and roll sin.